And so this is Dr. Allie Whitehurst, a beautiful woman of God, and in 2019 was a SoBEO Wise Elder Award honoree as well.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. This is really quite an honor to be here, but it's more an honor to present this Elder Award to someone who really needs no introduction in the city of Oakland. I mean, this is someone who is a giant among giants. He started as one of the persons in the parks of Oakland's rec. And currently he serves on East Bay Mud's utility board. He's been there for years. But more than that, he is a mentor. And so if you have not been mentored by this man, you have been mentored by someone whose life he has touched. The greats like the late Joe Morgan and Bill Russell. This is the man who is the citizen of citizens. And so I'm not going to go on and on to introduce Mr. William Bill Patterson, because he's a man who needs no introduction to the city of Oakland. He is Mr. Oakland. And I am grateful that I've had an opportunity to have his life touch mine, because after all, that's what living is about. It is about touching the lives and making the lives of others better. And that's what this great elder has done and continues to do. Mr. Patterson.
Should I be back here?
Mr. Patterson, let me read this to you. Sorry. So this is the SoBEO Wise Elder Award presented to William Bill Patterson. Thank you for your love for Oakland's Black children. We honor your legacy of diligence. State of Black Education, Oakland, October 22. I think I'm gonna be crying all night, y'all. So here you go. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We wanted to kick it off actually with Mr. Patterson. So I don't know if you're comfortable sitting here or you want to stand.
All right.
You know the issue.
Hold it, but
Oh, let me go get it.
I probably don't need it.
You probably do. Let me get it for you.
First of all, I wanted to thank the organization for not only honoring me, but for just inviting me. Kenneth, you and Jamoki are to be congratulated on your leadership. I wanted just to say what's most important in life is a journey. What you do and who you meet and relationships form. You see, that's the pathway you form through life. And I come from third generation educators back in the state of Arkansas, Little Rock, Arkansas. You know about the Little Rock Nine. All of them attended the same high school, Dunbar High School, Paul Lawrence Dunbar, Little Rock, Arkansas. I'm a graduate of Paul Lawrence Dunbar. On my journey, I started in public school. When my mother decided to become a Catholic, she and my dad became Catholic together. And they moved me to a private school. That was a Catholic school, probably the smallest school in Little Rock. And even though the education component was great, I had a solid foundation because my elementary school was in public schools. And the unique story I tell you tonight is about beginning. The teachers, the Black teachers in Little Rock sued their county board for equal pay. Thurgood Marshall, whom you've all heard about, came to Little Rock and he conducted that trial. The old judge told him, he said, "What is it you want to get out of this, lawyer?" And Thurgood said, "Anything I can." He said, "Well, you're not going to get much." They told him in the beginning, "You're not going to get much because we're not going with you." And I only say that to say, give you a little background. Donald Fitz McCullum, who also served as president of NAACP Oakland of the region, and went on to be an attorney that freed a man who killed his commanding officer in the Navy. He was called back in to do that trial. And believe it or not, he got the man off. And he continued in the county of Alameda and was in the DA's office and whatnot, and was appointed Superior Court judge. He and Lionel Wilson, who also attended McClymonds, my school in California, that's what you would read about if you read the September 17th Chronicle paper. It talks about McClymonds and its history. And that's why I say the journey that I took was to run away from home because they wouldn't allow me to go to public school, my parents. And I wanted to play football and run track. And those things were ingrained in me, but scholar was ingrained in me because my grandfather was assistant superintendent of education for the whole state. So you got to understand that background. My great-grandfather, my mother's father, was the first, what they called back then, it's not like city council, but it's the same thing. And he was first elected to the Little Rock School Board and to the city council. And so that goes back. So there's a cross section here. But my main learning was what the teachers taught us, and the trial that Thurgood lost in the lower court, he gained in the higher court because he appealed it down the street. And of course, he won in the higher court. And the Little Rock teachers got equal pay.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
If you look back at the history of the Black colleges, you will find Wiley, you will find all of them listed in that section. The number of people who applied for positions in Little Rock coming from that vista gave us the finest teachers in the world. And I say that to say I'm a product of those teachers, what they poured into me. They said, we'll prepare you to take the college entrance exam from any college or university in America, and you'll pass it and get in. And they told most of the kids, hang on when you get where you're going, do well in school, and hang on where you are, because there's not a lot to come back to Arkansas for. Jobs were not the thing to come home for, unless you had parents who had businesses or were wired. You didn't have much of a chance. We had college degree persons working as red caps down at the bus depot. See, that's the way the economy went. But I want to close by just saying this. What they poured into me and what I learned from my various journeys in school was to excel, to take all of the knowledge I could gain and put it in here and pass that on to the young men and women I came in contact with, because nobody can take that away from me. To be caring persons. You see, I'm a captain of the football team. Nobody promised me I was gonna be on the football team or even make it. It was in my head. But after I got on, I took care of my fellow players and they responded to me. That's the beginning of leadership. That's what you have in a Bill Russell. You see, you pass the mark of player and you become concerned about your fellow player. And then you lead that person in harmony and you play the game better than anybody else. I want to close by saying Frank and Bill are the only two of my mentees to achieve the Medal of Freedom, all from one high school, McClyman. You see, not for playing sports. Both the first manager in baseball, Frank was, and Bill, of course, was the first coach in the basketball league. But they were not doing that on the basis of their play. They could play the game, but they could teach the game. Now, I close with this one saying. All of you who are here today, and I call upon you to take it to heart. Think of somebody that helped you. Do good for the sake of good.
That's right, that's right.
I appreciate the award. I'm old, I talk too much. But I believe in it.
That's right. Ashe.
God bless all of you.
Thank you, Brother Bill
Thank you.
Patterson.